Playoffs have finally arrived for Road to Glory Season 8. We are one step closer to another ring for someone. But will we have a repeat winner or will a newbie finally claim the top spot? We have, let's see, three repeat, or excuse me, three former champs, and we have three newbies ready to get their first ring. Um, but obviously, as we can see, playoffs are here. Um, we have Miranda sitting at the number one seed. Congratulations, Justin. Followed by McGill on a great season at the number two. Both have buys. And then obviously we only have two matchups for the week, the two quarterfinals. So it's gonna be me versus Galigo, Ethan versus Nihil. Honestly, both games look pretty close. So yeah, they'll be pretty close, but obviously we need to see how we got to, like Galigo getting in and then obviously Nihil. So let's go back last week. Um, I mean, do I really need to go over this? Evan did get a second win. So that was pretty good. Evan got in the win column on the final week, going out on a high note. But I am going to go through, what kind of led to the seeding. So, I mean, I don't really have to go over mine. I was already basically locked into four, unless Ethan lost, but Ethan didn't lose. But basically, the two big matchups I mean, this was probably the biggest one, just in terms of who got in and who didn't. Let's take a look. It was Brent versus Galigo. Winner gets into the playoffs. Okay, so Brett did not have a great week. Galigo had a great week. So for Justin, RJ Harvey, he was seemingly the star. McBride had 8, which is a bad week for him. Meanwhile, Brett's brightest moment came from Turpin, who had 12, and Genty had 5. So we had Minnesota's defense with 20. But for Galigo, it was Harvey, Love, Saquon, and Metcalf. Metcalf probably one of his better games of the season. Brett just couldn't get enough going, and Galigo is able to sort of pull it together at the end and obviously get into the playoffs. Ethan and Nihil played. So they're playing back to back weeks. Interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, this one was just basically um, Ethan with a win got the 3 seed. Nihil just needed to stay above Japes in points, and he was fine even with the loss. So this will be the 3 versus 6 seed. Obviously, oh, well, Michael Wilson, 33 points. Lad was, yeah. But don't forget Squash. So Nihil T. Higgins, 24. Brace Hall with 4. Cameron Dicker was the player of the week. Squash. So Squash, Michael Wilson, Christian Watson, and Dicker. That's, dang, that's pretty good. Nihil T. Higgins. Sam Darnold was a good pickup. Woody and Achan. But yeah, we'll see these two again this week for the first round, and then obviously this was basically just for the one seed. Both will get a bye. Um, I will say, I guess the advantages for seeding, I believe I didn't adjust it. I think it's just from last year and the years prior. It should be reseeding come playoffs. So Miranda will play the lowest seed, McGill will play the higher seed. So for Miranda, Gibbs had 34, Hertz had 7, Kincaid had 12, and Devontae had 5. Devin White was the player of the week for Miranda. Gibbs, Jason had 25. I think he had what? Two touchdowns. Javonte had 14. Lamar had 22. Okay, so Lamar pulled it together. Zay had 16. Monty had 13. He had that long touchdown run, and then Kincaid with 12. But that basically wrapped up, um, how we got to the seedings. I did lock the non-playoff teams, so I did use my waiver on Brock Purdy. I was looking at Galigo's roster. I deadass almost dropped Waller for T-Law too, but I just didn't do it in time. Um, Harold Fannin. We got to Ethan, Ricky, Pearsall to Mirando, T-Law to Galigo, McCarthy to Ethan. We all know he's not starting him. And Rashid Shaheed to Mirando. But like I said, as the playoffs are now in place, looking at regular season stats, we did end up with Squash, Mahomes, Dak, Drake, Stafford. Receivers, we had JSN, Puka, Pickens, Amon-Ra, and Jamar. Devontae Adams and Shamir DK, aka Brett. And then Miguel Unbelievable with CMC and Taylor separated by 3 points, which is crazy because Taylor had over 500 more rushing yards and 10 more attempts in 8 more touchdowns rushing, but CMC 50 more catches, 500 more receiving yards, and 3 more touchdowns. Crazy. And then we had Gibbs, Achane, Bijan, Cook, Javonte, tight ends. We had McBride far away at the top, Ferguson, Kelsey, Tyler Warren, Bowers. Kickers, we had Jason Myers, led the way, Aubrey, Dicker, Fairbairn. Defense should be Seattle, Houston, Denver, yep. Marcus Jones, yep, with the returning ability. Miles Garrett, that wasn't even a question. And then Jordan Brooks at the top, followed by Jack Campbell and Ernest Jones. But I only have two matchups this week. So it's me versus Galigo. Let's see. So my quarterback dilemma, I will say, in all honesty, all three of them have good matchups, but I feel good going with Burrow, especially with a desperate team. He will have T back. I think I was just worried about the weather last week, but it's in Cincinnati. Um, both teams are desperate. Both teams need this game to have any chance. And he always plays well versus them, and that should have an effect on Jamar, I would hope. But my fear is my second and third receivers because I really don't know what to do. Pittman hurts. DJ Moore is ass. So I'm stuck with these two, I think. Ugh. And I got Jacobs and Kyron with tough matchups. You know, is what it is. You got to go with your guns. But I do like ETN, so I mean, I like Waddle. I mean, not Waddle, Warren, but I want to go with my best players, I think. And then having Houston's defense this week will be big. But for Galigo, I know he dropped Love, and they said JD's out. So to pick up T-Law, I will say it is. I think it's the right pickup. He hasn't been playing that bad recently. Um, he should probably just hit his mark. Hopefully they go to ETN, but out of what was available, he was probably the right pickup. Metcalf versus Miami, that's in Pittsburgh. That might be scary. It's weird because Miami's been like playing, decent. And then AJ and Saquon scare me a little bit. It's weird because I don't think the Raiders' defense is as bad as people think they might be just because of their record. Um, that's just when I watch them. But it's in Philly. Eagles coming off of a loss again. They're gonna fucking kill them. And then Waddle's a good matchup. Bucky tomorrow, home. This is a must win basically too for them. Hopefully with Evans and McMillan coming back, they just go to the air. That's all I can hope for. I know Bucky scored last week on a screen, so and then McBride's going against in Houston. Hopefully my defense can just try to stay with him, I guess. And then RJ Harvey's a killer. He's been playing really well. Yeah, I mean that's a good game. I mean we want Denver to lose, so hopefully Green Bay can pull that out. And then Jacksonville's defense is a good pickup. I mean, my gut's telling me Gallego just based on the matchups, like no bias at all. I think my only saving grace would I think I need an explosion from these two, in all honesty. Like I think I would need him, both of them close to maybe 30 points, which I don't think is unreasonable, but I feel like that's what I would need to have an edge, I think. Yeah. I mean, I just like most of your matchups, to be fair, except McBride. I think that's going to be a tough matchup, but tight ends, you know, different than receiver. So, and then Judkins is sitting. Yeah, I mean, I can get behind that. And then we have Ethan versus Nihil. I actually want to just quickly look at my predictions from last week. So I had Nolan. I did pick Caligo. Justin said that. Couldn't do that. I did pick Japes. Japes threw it, so he killed me. I did pick Ethan. and Miranda. So 4-1, bringing my regular season record to 45-24. So not bad. Say that's a decent record. Now, Ethan versus Nihil is going to be interesting. He has McCarthy in. I don't care who Squash is playing. There's no way on this planet that in a playoff game, even though he's playing the Patriots, that you are starting 9 over Josh Allen. I mean, we literally have it set up perfectly. It's Drake May versus Josh Allen. Lad in Kansas City. He did not have a good game last week, uh, but I don't know. I got nothing for Lad. Amon Ra, yeah, looking at a shootout for this game. Hopefully, he should be involved a lot. Hoping JMO is, but it should be a lot of Amon Ra. And then if Michael Wilson, I mean, is Marv playing? Probably not, right? Questionable. Didn't practice. Even with Marv not playing, it's gonna be a challenging game with Stingley. Wilson's the number one right now, so Chase Brown will probably have what, 7 catches. Devin Neal scored last week. Yep. Is the lead back, but he has, it looks like, an abdominal issue. And then Kyle Pitts is in. Harold Fannin. Oh, I don't know. No Christian Watson. So Christian Watson, Gainwell, and Pollard. Okay. Nihil's got Drake against Buffalo. I will say Buffalo's defense has not been bad fantasy wise against QBs. Obviously, Nihil starting Drake, no second question to that. Keenan hasn't been playing well at all. Yeah, yikes. T. Higgins, love him. He's scores every home game, it feels like. And then we got Diggs. We know what Diggs did last time against Buffalo, 10 catches. Achane against Pittsburgh, love that. I really like the running back matchups here with, but Woody didn't practice, and then we know Chubb is probably hurt. Tyrone Tracy, what the fuck is going on here? So is Singletary out of the question now? Like I don't understand. We have Myers and then Buffalo sitting Breeze. I mean, guys' lineups kind of confuse me. I'm picking Ethan, I think still. I don't know. I think I'm gonna pick him because I know he's gonna put Josh Allen back in. Maybe Christian Watson, even Gainwell too. Harold Fannon's not actually a bad start, but yeah, so that I mean those are the only 2 matchups this week in fantasy for the league. So we'll have 2 more next week with Miranda and McGill obviously getting back in with the bye. So yeah, big playoffs. Like I said, 3 former through versus 3 non-winners. So 3 of the repeaters um are playing this week, and then we'll see if the numbers dwindle or not. Basically, between me and Galigo, that's what it'll come down to. So, um, yeah, that's gonna do it. And playoffs are here. Another step closer to finishing another good year for Road to Glory. Uh, winner takes home. We'll say 900 because usually I know everyone or the past couple have agreed that loser just gets their money back. So get some cash, for Christmas, and yeah, that's gonna do it. But start of the playoffs, and it's gonna be good playoffs, even though Miranda ruined the league. So